TF2 is a war-themed hat simulator. At some point, TF2 became just as well known for its over-the-top headwear as much as its gameplay and characters. And no hats were more emblematic of this than unusual hats. With bright and flashy particle effects, these rare eye-catching hats were sure to make you the attention of the entire lobby. However, for years, one of these hats has stood the test of time and become one of the most sought-after items in video game history, with only a select few having the privilege to call it their own. This item is the Burning Flames Tam Captain, and we'll go over the long and interesting history it's had after the break. Do you like fantasy? Do you like dragons? No, dragons are... Well, boy, are you in luck because this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid has over 600 champions at your disposal, which is like, a really big number. Use those champions to raid dungeons, take on bosses, and beat the campaign. And if you're feeling like an extra brave lad, you can take on the Doom Tower. In TF2, the endgame is buying really expensive hats, but in Raid, it's the Doom Tower. Designed as a giant prison to harbor the Raid universe's biggest meanies and bullies by Arbiter, the Doom Tower is beginning to fail, and all of those meanies are seeping out. Now they're your problem to fix. The nasty creatures in that tower really like to inflict debuffs on your champions, so you're gonna want to have some support on your crew. But variety is the spice of life, my friend, so feel free to experiment. That experimentation is actually one of the best parts of Raid. All of the options and heroes at your disposal gives you a lot of options to play with. Unlike a certain other game, Raid is constantly updated with new goodies. This month, Raid released the Iron Twins Fortress Dungeon and the new feature Awakening. Taking down the Iron Twins lets you awaken your character and buff them to keep them nice and strong. That's not all though, as Raid has released the highly anticipated Ultimate Death Knight. They're so awesome and cool, I could give them a big peck on the cheek. And he's free to unlock too. Just play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27th. So if you want to try out all of this cool stuff for yourself, use the promo code DKRises for a bunch of free booty to get you started. Use that nice little QR code in the corner to download Raid for mobile and PC and to get almost $30 of free stuff on the house, including champion Virgies and all of this loot. You can find them in your inbox for only the next 30 days. Thanks to Raid for supporting my channel. Now, let's get back to the video. Welcome back. Today, the Burning Flames Tam Captain is valued at a price of 7,600 keys. But how much are keys worth? In the TF2 trading community, certain in-game items have been valued as a currency for purchasing items. Throughout the game's history, some of the items that have been used as currency are the various crafting metals, earbuds, and keys. The metals are the TF2 equivalent of pocket change. Think of scrap metal as pennies, reclaimed metal as dimes, and refined metal as quarters. And if the different crafting metals are change, keys are the dollar bill of TF2. And while the price of a key can fluctuate depending on the seller or the state of the economy, a fair estimate of their price is about $1.95 USD. So that means the monetary value of the Burning Flames Tam Captain is roughly $14,820 USD. That is an insane amount of money for a virtual item. With that type of money, you could buy a car, go on a vacation, or pay rent. But more importantly, that's enough money to buy over 14,000 cans of Chef Boyardee. Now, when given the choice between a virtual hat and enough canned spaghetti to swim in, I'd choose the spaghetti any day. But nonetheless, this is a very valuable hat. But what makes this hat such a valuable collector's item, and why has the hat remained this revered for over a decade? The question got under my skin, and I knew I had to look into it. Unfortunately, this was not an easy topic to research. Believe it or not, most people aren't going out of their way to chronicle the history of virtual hats. Trying to explore the history of the Burning Flames Tam Captain is like being in a maze with 1,000 dead ends. Many times I would find a video I thought would help further my search for answers, only to be met with a grim reminder of what YouTube was like a decade ago. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbow. Not helping the fact is that official records of every Burning Tam Captain's owners has been mostly lost, leaving me to try and fill in the gaps. It became obvious I wasn't going to go anywhere with the research by myself, so I reached out to 3 people: Blank, Arbiter, and Mulberry, all 3 current owners of Burning Flames Tam Captains. And all 3 of them were incredibly helpful with my research. This video wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for their contributions. The burning question on my mind was, why was the Burning Flames Tam Captain of all the unusual hats in the game, so revered and expensive, and when asked, all 3 of my interviewees had no solid ideas, only speculatory guesses. So what determines the pricing of unusual hats? I'd say there are 3 main factors that go into pricing a hat. The hat itself, the particle effect attached, and the rarity of the item. You could have a good hat, but if it has a low tier effect and is common, it's gonna be cheap. Or a bad hat with a rare good effect is gonna be expensive, and so on and so forth. Added on May 5th, 2011, the Team Captain is a military hat that is a reference to the Street Fighter character M. Bison. If the name itself doesn't ring a bell, or you've never played Street Fighter before, you might recognize this. Yes! Yes! Equipable by Heavy, Medic, and Soldier, the Team Captain was added in a period of the game's life where hats equipable by multiple classes were not common. Something that made this hat in specific very desirable by traders. Especially because a year before, on September 10th, Valve added unusual effects to the game. While owning an unusual hat for one class would catch a few eyes, wearing one on multiple classes would make you the center of attention. And no 2 unusual effects were quite as revered as Burning and Scorching Flames. Bright and flashy, these 2 nearly instantly became the favorites of the community, with Burning Flames typically being held in higher regard. When you combine the high demand hat and effect and the scarcity of the item, it makes sense why the Burning Flames Team Captain is so expensive. This hat radiated machismo and badassery. This hat didn't ask for your attention, it demanded it, and the price reflected that. 10 years ago, the first accepted price for one Burning Flames Team Captain was about 2,000 keys or $5,000 USD. But that was then. This is now. So why has the item only become more expensive over time? While Burning Flames is still an incredibly valuable unusual effect, other, more exclusive effects have gotten it beaten out. Take my unusual hat for instance. The Haunted Phantasm Jr. effect is an extremely rare effect in high demand that fetches higher prices on average than their Burning Flames counterparts. Yet the Haunted Phantasm Jr. Team Captain, despite being the only one in existence, sold for a mere pittance of the Burning Flames Team Captain in value. The Burning Flames Team Captain is a hat that seems to defy reason. Such a collector's piece, despite not even being particularly rare compared to other hats with 18 in existence. So I decided to look into that number. 18. When I reached out to my sources, they confirmed only 7 Burning Flames Team Captains were ever unboxed. 4 were unboxed from 2011 to 2015, 1 was unboxed in 2016, and 2 were unboxed in 2019. But the numbers aren't adding up. If only 7 were ever unboxed, how can there ever be 18 in existence? Well, my friend, behind the scenes, there was funny business happening. In the early days of TF2, there were bugs and exploits that allowed people to duplicate items. Of all the duplicating bugs found, unusual hats were always a priority to duplicate due to the rarity and price of the item. And of all the unusual hats to duplicate, one became the golden goose. I mean, if you're gonna put everything on the line to duplicate items, go big or go home. Keep in mind, during this time there were 4 or less Burning Flames Team Captains in existence, and it was the most desired hat in the game, and the price had gone up from the $5,000 it started at to over 3,000 keys and close to $7 grand. If someone were to start duplicating them, the money would essentially be printing itself. Eventually, duplicated Team Captains started popping up onto the market. They were spreading everywhere and growing like a cancer cell. So many of them were created, they began to outnumber the legitimately unboxed Team Captains. Of the 18 Team Captains in existence, 11 of them are duplicated copies of an unboxed hat. Duplicated items would go on to be called dupes by the community, and many of them would value them lower than the pure unboxed Team Captains. Of my 3 interviewees, one of them actually owns a duped Team Captain. Blank currently owns a level 3 duped Burning Flames Team Captain, but this one is special. This one is cursed. This Team Captain operated under a Scorched Earth policy, marking nearly every single person that traded for it as a scammer, even if they legitimately purchased it. At one point, even Mooselk owned this hat. Histories for nearly all of the Team Captains have been mostly lost to time, but luckily, I was able to find a rare screenshot of the cursed Team Captain's history, and it lives up to its reputation. Look at all of those people labeled as scammers, despite most not even being one. However, with all of the duping happening, it was only a matter of time before someone got caught. What you are staring at is the backpack of Mr. Pond. They were duplicating team captains, and even though the plans went off without a hitch before, their luck caught up to them, and they were caught by Valve. Valve then issued a trade ban on their account. This forever sealed away one of the few Burning Flames team captains away inside of their inventory forever. Mr. Pond would later cement their name in the community by doing this.
Destroyed their golden...
Pond has destroyed their gold.
This wouldn't even be the only team captain lost to Mr. Pond's hubris, and this next one would be an even more devastating blow. This is the backpack of an alternate account owned by Mr. Pond. Inside of this backpack is one of the 7 pure team captains that were legitimately unboxed. At the time of the account's banning, only 5 Burning Flames team captains were ever unboxed, and of those 5, only 3 ever left their original unboxer's inventory. Even if 2 team captains were lost, so many duped team captains entered the market, there was a bigger supply for them to satisfy the increasingly hungry demand for the hat. There was plenty of money to be made, but wherever there's money, there's sharks in the water. When asked if they've ever had someone try to scam or steal their team captain, all 3 of my interviewees said they haven't. This came as a big surprise to me. I still have people trying to scam me for items worth far less. When I was younger, I fell for scams essentially stealing nothing but pocket change from me. My guess is that the Burning Flames team captain is too valuable to steal. It is the video game equivalent to stealing the Mona Lisa. When people see that it's gone, it's only a matter of time before you're caught. But just like the Mona Lisa, it hasn't stopped people from trying. This is the backpack of Steam user Friendly. The Burning Flames team captain looks so horribly out of place among all of the default achievement items, because this team captain was scammed. Justice was served to this user, but justice is a double-edged sword. On one hand, this user can no longer scam players out of money, but on the other, yet another one of the Burning Flames team captains has been locked away and can never be put into circulation again. So of the 18 tradable team captains confirmed to exist, only 15 of them will ever see the surface again. Digging into this account, I found an interesting rabbit hole. This Friendly account is actually the alternate account of one Erickson. As I plunged further down the rabbit hole, I noticed this person had a lot of ties to Late Gum. In my research, this name kept popping up. One of my interviewees even mentioned their name at one point. And the more I looked into it, the more shocked I became. Late Gum was a former owner of a Burning Flames team captain. It seemed he and Erickson were friends, even buying one of the in-game rings for each other. It also seemed like the two would pull off trading schemes to make a profit. One specific instance of these schemes involved leading a trader into believing once they traded a higher tier item for a lower tier item, they could trade that lower tier item for a higher one. But after the first trade, the pair completely ghosted and left the trader in the dark. This is far from the only scheme Late Gum ever pulled. For years, they infiltrated the trading scene and scammed users out of thousands of dollars. In a video re-uploaded by Late Gum on their YouTube channel, they admit to stealing close to $500,000. Today, Late Gum is banned from Steam trading and is marked as a scammer. But they've also stated that before the ban went into place, they were able to sell 90% of their stolen goods, getting away with it all. It just goes to show that you always need to be careful and know who you're dealing with when trading items. Moving into 2019, only 13 Burning Flames team captains were tradable. At this point, the team captain was valued at a staggering 6,600 keys, or roughly 13,000 American dollars. But on July 25th, 2019, something unexpected and completely unprecedented would happen that we're still left pondering the ramifications it had. They added Ricardo to TF2. Oh, also, the complete collapse of TF2's economy in less than 24 hours. On July 25th, 2019, Valve added the Summer 2019 cosmetic case to the game, along with a couple bug fixes. What neither Valve nor the community could have predicted is that Ricardo was a harbinger for dark times. After the update, people began to notice that certain crates were giving people a 100% chance to uncrate an unusual hat. All hats would have an effect from either the first or third series of unusual effects. Immediately, the prices for these crates skyrocketed in price, while the inverse happened for the hats themselves. With the supply for unusual hats exceeding the demand to own them, prices plummeted to a fraction of what they had been the day before. The craziest thing is how it relates to our story. Among the unusual effects you could unbox was Burning Flames, and among the hats you could unbox, the Team Captain. After a day of frenzied unboxing, Valve froze the ability to open crates. On August the 2nd, they had an answer. The first unusual item you unboxed from a glitch crate would be tradable, while all the others you unboxed would be untradable. But Valve offered full refunds for the cost of the key in the crate. From the whole ordeal, 2 tradable Burning Flames Team Captains were able to slip through the cracks, and they currently belong to some names you might recognize: Arbiter and Mulberry, 2 of my interviewees. I can confirm that at least one Burning Flames Team Captain was unboxed during the Depression, but was trade locked due to not being the first unbox. Imagine being handed $15,000 in solid gold, only to be told you can only display them as decoration. So that brings us to today. I went into this with the question of why. Why is the Burning Flames Team Captain so expensive? People have risked everything and ruined their reputation just to get a glimpse of this hat. And I think I've come out of my research with an answer. The reason the Burning Flames Team Captain is so expensive is a fourth factor I didn't even consider: status. The Team Captain has become a status symbol in the community. It's not the rarest and not even the flashiest unusual, but it's the most interesting and most well respected. Wearing this bad boy tells everyone that you won TF2 trading. It's a hat that's expensive to be expensive, and there's only a lucky 15 people that have the honor of wearing it. When asked if people have recognized the hat in-game, all 3 interviewees said plenty of people have recognized it and were surprised. Blank even linked me a gallery of screenshots people took of his Team Captain in-game. But you can't coast on status forever. This is the Top Shelf Minigun. It is widely regarded as the best skin in TF2. It is sleek, it is classy, and it is elegant. But it is far from the most expensive item in the game. Hell, if you want, you could cop the thing right now for $500. But a strange top shelf minigun that counts your kills? It's gonna cost you a pretty penny. This one is only minimal wear, and there's a good reason it's so expensive. In order to get a strange factory new top shelf minigun, you need 10 strange factory new mercenary grade items from the same collection. In order to get a strange factory new mercenary grade item, you need 10 strange factory new freelance grade items from the same case. And in order to get a strange factory new freelance item, you need 10 strange factory new civilian grade items from the same collection. And here is what civilian grade strange factory new skins from the Gentleman's Collection cost. If you achieve the impossible and somehow scrounge up enough resources to trade up for a strange factory new top shelf minigun, when you attempt the trade up itself, there is only a 33% chance you even get the damn thing, because you have just as much of a chance to get the wrench or grenade launcher. The strange factory new top shelf minigun would completely dethrone the Burning Flames Team Captain. Unfortunately, it's kind of held back by the fact it doesn't exist yet. In July of 2019, someone hit the jackpot of a lifetime. For the first and only time in TF2 history, someone unboxed a factory new, strange, elite grade rocket launcher. This item was the highest possible rarity, with the best effect, on one of the most used weapons with one of the best possible skins. This is the item of a lifetime. This one item right here is a complete goldmine it's sold for $5,000. Less than half of the Burning Flames Team Captain. I'm using these 2 items to demonstrate just how ludicrously expensive the Burning Flames Team Captain is, and how exceedingly hard it would be to top it as TF2's most expensive item. So that way, when I show you this, it properly registers how shocking it is. These are the Dark Blaze Antlers. Dark Blaze is an exceedingly rare effect with less than 5 of them existing per hat on average. It is among the most expensive and revered effects in the game, made even more expensive due to the hat it is on. The Antlers is a hat equipable by 9 classes, but it has a unique quirk that only a few select items in the game have. In TF2, you can't wear 2 hats at the same time, due to the 2 taking up the same equip region on the character model. The Antlers are not classified as a hat in the game's code, allowing them to be worn with other hats. This allows you to have multiple unusual effects at once. Being extremely rare, only one of a kind, with a god tier effect on one of the most desired hats in the game, The Darkblaze Antlers finally beat out the Burning Flames Team Captain as the most expensive item in the game, selling for 3 golden frying pans. We have gotten to the point where the golden frying pan, an item already known for being comically expensive and gaudy, is being used as a currency to purchase items. If a key in the TF2's economy is equivalent to a dollar bill and the metals are change, the golden pan is essentially handing someone a platinum bar. Valued at a whopping 9,600 keys and over $18,500, the Darkblaze Antlers have reached an unprecedented level of cost for a virtual hat. But what if I told you, it still isn't the most expensive item in TF2? Not by a long shot. When I first saw this, I was speechless. When I learned of the Darkblaze Antlers, I thought that was the top. Surely nothing could beat it out. But I was proved humiliatingly wrong. 5 months before this video was posted, the Poison Shadow Antlers sold for 5 golden frying pans. Valued at 15,000 keys and close to 30 grand, this has become TF2's most expensive item. Nearly double the price of what once seemed like the peak of the TF2 economy. The Burning Flames Team Captain may not be the most expensive cosmetic anymore, or even the most revered, as community awareness of its existence has tapered off since the heyday of TF2. But that's not where the story of the Burning Flames Team Captain ends. Unlike the Darkblaze and Poison Shadow Antlers, the Burning Flames Team Captain could theoretically still be unboxed. One would have to be insanely lucky, as it's already a less than 1% chance to unbox an unusual hat. But you have to unbox the correct effect, which is a 1 in 14 chance on the correct hat out of over 100. If you were locked in a room with an infinite supply of money and couldn't leave until you unboxed an unusual Burning Flames Team Captain, you would basically have the lifestyle of a Reddit moderator. But someday, someone will open a crate and unknowingly start a chapter in a very long and very complicated story. It's just a matter of who and when.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbow.